Welcome to Liberty and Consciousness, promoting liberty through consciousness expansion. I have my co-host Max Henry here today, along with Paul the Sanctus returning. How you guys doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Pretty good. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I want to revisit a story, but from a different perspective today. Yes, I talked about John Brennan, his comments saying that,
look how hot she is, bro. She's so hot. That face. That jawline.
Yeah. Anyway.
Gabbard slams Schiff.
Yeah.
I wish she's slamming me. So.
Hit her up.
So this is what we were talking about this last time about Brennan and how.
So we talked about Brennan's comments last time. I talked about specifically what he said. We got to stop the pro-insurgency that has this. That just, in my opinion, put word salad. You know, authoritarians, this, bad people, people who don't park their cars right on Sunday.
The boogeyman. We got to get them in jail.
Boogeyman, werewolves, Dracula, and libertarians. Just put them in there. Word salad. And actually, nobody, in my opinion, really said anything back to him. Yeah, some people on social media made some memes, and stuff, and made fun of him. But Tulsi actually took the initiative, stood up, and said, like, hey, if Biden wants unity, like he says he does, then he needs to disavow Adam Schiff, as it says here, and he needs to disavow former CIA director, John Brennan, and she used some strong language, domestic enemies of the U.S. deeming a greater danger to the country than the rioters who stormed the U.S. Capitol building.
Yeah,
damn,
exactly. I mean, she said. I was watching. This was on the Tucker Carlson interview, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I watched that. She was like, you're gonna call these people who stormed the Capitol, and we all agree that that's a form of domestic terrorism. But so is you trying to freaking make half of the United States basically that the terrorists. Like, she's like, anyone with a left shoe, boom, you're a terrorist. That's what Brennan's saying. Like, what's going on with that? So I'm glad she went on Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson, when she was like, she read the quote. And when it got to libertarians, Tucker Carlson was like, I was like, Tucker Carlson's funny, bro.
Tucker Carlson is like,
he's funny, dude. He's a little too Trumpster for me, but like he's way more closer to he's bearable, for a libertarian mindset. He's bearable. You can watch him.
That's a little
he lied right there, but it's not too bad,
Yeah, he's not like a Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity. I'm like, okay, I almost watched that. No, he actually, he had some weird stuff. He freaked out about self-driving cars, and there's some things I'm like, okay, yeah, he's too Trumpy for me as well. But at least,
I mean, I got, dude, that whole self-driving car stuff, bro. I don't know, bro, because you know what's gonna happen, right? Here's what's gonna happen. First, they give us the self-driving cars, so now it's like, okay, I don't gotta own a car, so that's good, cool, right? So that's less bills. But then you maybe have a subscription or something like that. Then they take away licenses because it's safer. As soon as the robots become safer than us at driving, boom, take away licenses. You have to take them, And I don't like that, bro. Like, then they know where you are in your own car. Like, I don't like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't know anyway. You stick your phone in your pocket, they know where you are. You know what I'm saying? But it's an extra level of lack of independence. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it will go Orwell or Brave New World or anything like that, but it's I want my independence, so hopefully that doesn't happen.
You know what I would say to that? I think Elon Musk there's a lot of stuff I don't agree about with Elon Musk, and he does get government subsidies. That being said, he seems to be a little bit less corrupt, or a little bit less I know I'm using this word kind of like in a weird way. He's not like fully establishment. I'm sure I know he hangs out with them at parties and stuff. I know he talks to them, but he doesn't seem to be fully establishment. So that's why I kind of trust Tesla and the self-driving cars a little bit. That's why I'm not freaking out like Tucker Carlson and some of them
Oh,
because
you're talking about no, I'm saying like self-driving, like to the level where you know how Uber goes completely autonomous.
yeah. Well, we'll have to
Like
see.
that, yeah.
I don't.
Not like your car, not like your car self-drives. Like that's great because it's still your property. You know what I'm saying? It's like that when you, it's like they're gonna tell you no, you can't have it because you're not responsible enough and it's dangerous and look at all the deaths or something like that. You know, that's like, you know, it's probably 50 years away. Maybe I'll be an old man when that happens, and I probably won't be able to drive anyway at that point. But you know, who knows?
That's a while away. So,
but with Elon, dude, you're right, man. I don't think he's like complete establishment. To be quite honest, I don't think he, you know, I don't think he is at all. He takes the subsidies, but look at who he's competing with. They all take the subsidies, so he has to take the subsidies and all the tax credits, and that's the environment you're in. You're going to play the market how you can, right?
yeah.
So
If you have an advantage, you're not going to say, "Oh, you know, I don't want the goalpost." So I kind of.
So what you're telling me is you're going to give me $15 million just to build my shirt here, which I was gonna do anyway for free. Okay, I'll do it. You know.
Yeah, it's like okay, so sounds good. So anyway, getting back to Tulsi, her direct quote on Tucker was, "We recognize those who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, trying to stop Congress fulfilling their constitutional responsibilities, or acting as domestic terrorists, undermining our Constitution. However, those like John Brennan, Adam Schiff, and others are also acting as domestic terrorists because they are undermining our Constitution by trying to take away our civil liberties and rights that are guaranteed to us." And I can understand actually why people did what they did on January 6th. To these guys, to me, they're just, you know, they're authoritarians and they just, in my opinion, I think they're losing and they're just trying to pull out anything. Like, okay, we just have to get tough now. It's kind of like when you back a animal into a corner and they're just like, what am I going to, you know, I'm going to lash out in every direction. And to me, that's what he's doing.
You know what it is? It's that they're losing the constituency, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's a lot of Trumpsters that just understand the difference between a McCain style and a little more freedom style. Now they're still like lost in economics and all that, but there's a difference now. The party's divided, and even on the left, you know, there's guys who are anti-war and will not vote for a pro-war candidate, and they changed, you know, and both these parties went complete authoritarian. The Democrats and the Republicans, they went complete authoritarian. I mean, for crying out loud, Bill Clinton balanced his own budget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that for a second. Like, that's how, and this isn't long ago. This is just 20 years ago. So it all radically changed. You know, nobody's talking about balancing budgets anymore. Very few. And those are the type of politicians we want.
Yeah.
You know, no one on the left is talking about, hey, we need less war besides Tulsi Gabbard, who isn't running anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Rand Paul is.
So yeah, so that's the thing, right? So you got these bases that are like leaving the party and they're getting violent. Some are storming the Capitol. Some are burning down the fucking cities, you know? So what is this guy gonna do? Of course he's gonna get on national TV, former CIA director, and who's gonna target? He's gonna just mention just about everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyone who isn't basically in lockstep 100% with me is bad. And actually, one thing that they sounded an alarm over like this dangerous war on domestic terror, because in my opinion, when you start targeting citizens and you're just saying, okay, without a warrant, if you're just part of this thing, you're bad. This is the extent that they're going to try to undermine our rights and freedoms that are guaranteed to every one of us. It's incredibly dangerous. So Tulsi really gets that. And she also blamed tech industry leaders for assisting the effort after social media companies like Twitter, Facebook blocked accounts that they have said posted inflammatory comments, including those of former President Donald Trump, including possibly, our old co-host, which is ridiculous. If someone's ideas are bad, let them stay so you can see that they're bad. Hey, imagine that.
Yeah.
Not even saying you should agree with them, that I could, based on Trump's performance, I could pull out 10, 12, 13, 14 things that are objectively, in my opinion, bad. And I can, based on that, I don't like censorship at all. And she did say big.
Well, you know why they delete it, right? Like, okay, why are they taking down the Confederacy? Why
Yeah.
why are they doing that? Like, okay, it's bad, right? There was bad things that were done in slavery and stuff like that. But the reason they take it down is because there's two, it may be twofold. I have at least two reasons. One, they don't want you to see any good in it.
Yes.
Like, because they don't want you to see it from the other side's perspective. They want to control the narrative, so like, don't go read Jefferson Davis book, The Rise and Fall of the Confederate States. Don't go read that, because you're going to hear his perspective, and that was the president of the Confederate States. They don't want you to, so that's one thing. They don't want you to sympathize for at any level. They're wrong. No one's ever going to agree with the whole slavery thing unless you're sick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you may be like, maybe the Union went a little hard burning the complete South and raping the women and burning all the property and fucking, there could have been a different way or something. You start thinking about it because you're learning too much about it, right? So they don't want that. So they want to delete the history there. And the second reason they want to do it is so if they commit the same actions, there's no reference. In Brave New World, everything's deleted. You don't look at the past. You only go forward. You don't look at the past. You only go forward. And the reason that is so you never learn the system's flaws and mistakes and things like that. And you need to let that shit stand on its own, like you're saying. You need, if a Trumpster wants to have an account and talk about Trump all fucking day long, I enjoy that because there's, I'll just ridicule him all day long and it'll be a good time and we'll all have a great laugh. But no, they want to delete him as if he's fucking dangerous or some shit. They're not fucking dangerous, dude. They're no more dangerous than the government. They're far less dangerous than the government. Let's admit it. They're far less dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, they're not spying on no one. They ran up on there and said, "Do your fucking job." They fucked up, Honestly, dude, bro, hate to say, but if they pulled some of those politicians out, I'm not gonna mention any names.
Right.
If they pulled some of them out, tarred, feathered, stoned them to death, whatever, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't be sad. I'd be like, wow, that was some fucked up shit, but it's a two-sided coin. Yeah, it's like, when is it going to be enough? $28 trillion. What, endless wars.
Yeah.
Extreme poverty, locking us out of markets. When's it enough, dude? When is it okay? When is it morally okay to storm a Capitol? Like, when? I'm just saying, when? Like, what has to happen? What do you guys think?
That's a question.
What has to happen?
That I really want someone to answer. Like, okay, yeah, what is the breaking point? When, as far when has the
I mean, is it rigging an election? Is that enough? Kicking out of court, don't want to hear it.
In my opinion, funny enough, I would say that stimulus bill was way worse than actually bringing it, because that's your own money. Okay, fine. Trump comes and goes, Biden comes and goes, whatever. I'm actually at that point. I'm gonna do what I can locally and state. But just taking your money and saying, I'm gonna give your money here, and I'm gonna do this for, and I'm gonna give foreign aid to here. What? No.
I mean, this Biden guy got, we covered his first 13 executive orders, right? That was his first day. We're at 37.
Yeah. I can't keep up.
We're at 37 executive orders. He's been there a week. The most in the past, I don't know. I forget when. The most in, let's say, the last 5 presidents, I believe. was Obama with 5 in the first week. That was like, whoa, bro. Whoa. Biden's got 37. He's not reading this shit, dude. They're putting it in front of him. Sign, bitch. Put it in front. Sign. That's what's going on. So, and these things are becoming laws, dude. Who needs a Congress?
Yeah, who needs? In my opinion, though, here's what I've seen. I'm going to use this word in a relative term, but every president who comes in, they progressively amp up on centralization. Like, okay, Obama, did, as you're saying, 5. Trump comes in, does more. Biden comes in more. The next guy might do more.
Nah, dude, that's not what happened, bro. But that's not what happened. Like, it looks like that, but it's not what happened. I mean, in terms of spending, maybe, but in terms of law and stuff like that, that's not what happened.
I mean, we'll have to see.
What's that?
We'll have to see, because in my opinion, they're playing out of the same playbook. They're not the same, but they're playing out of the same playbook. We'll have to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying what didn't happen was like one's outdoing the other. Other than like spending, yeah, that's the only thing that they're outdoing each other on. But in terms of like regulations on the market, things like that, it's a lot different.
it is.
Anyway.
So yeah, just to close this off, basically, and they're also trying to introduce this bill that's getting backlash for domestic terrorism. It's a bipartisan bill, the so-called Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2021. And what's that going to do? Expand surveillance, police powers, all the stuff we don't want in the name of security. Saying, and it's good Tulsi speaking out about this. Nobody else that I know is really, pinpointing this. But yeah, this is something people need to be aware of, that they are trying to pass this bill, and that we have to give a lot of backlash. People at least have to know about it. And Tulsi's doing a good job of getting on Tucker and letting people know about this. That bill has
and props to Tucker, bro. Props to Tucker for going out there and doing that, man.
I've been following.
I like it. I like that there's a Republican faction that's becoming more pro-liberty. I just got to get a little more economically sound, like libertarians are, but they're on the right track.
I think they're on the right track. I think there are, because actually, funny enough, I'll even tell you this. I know more Tulsi Gabbard personally, obviously, so it's biased. I know more Tulsi Gabbard type Democrats who economically they're not very, they want a social safety.
Well, because you're from Pennsylvania, right? That's what you got out there. You got Democrats, but they're conservative.
I live in a area, so I met a lot of Democrats. I meet a lot of Republicans, or there's a lot of Trump flags around where I'm at. But most Democrats that I talk to are kind of on the Tulsi Gabbard persuasion. Most that I know that I've run into through the course of my life, basically, they have a libertarian mindset in a lot of things. Yeah, they're more pro. They don't want war. They're good on the drug war. They're not very good on economics, and they're not very good on some social issues, in my opinion. They still probably.
I mean, who the fuck's good on economics, bro? You know, how many people really, like, it's a fucking learned discipline, dude. You got to go to school. You got to, like, I get it. Like, because listen, I listened to Ron Paul for years, and I was like arguing with people that Keynesian economics wasn't capitalism, which it is, by definition of capitalism. It is a form of capitalism. It's the furthest, it's one step away from not being capitalism, right? But yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I just, they'll come around if we could teach them some of those things.
So,
but that's not what's gonna like get the masses, right? Like, you're not gonna be able to teach Chicago school or Austrian school to like everyone.
No,
that's why like the memes.
Yeah,
you win the war with the memes. You pull them in with the memes. You pull them in with pop culture, right? You pull them in with pop culture, and then you give them like, okay, listen, read Liberty Defined by Ron Paul. or read Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, or read some Hayek, The Road to Serfdom, or
Machine.
even like, dude, read the new Brave New World, read these books, and then or like watch a video or something. Like people will watch videos as long as they're like under 20 minutes usually. You know what I'm saying? They'll watch videos like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta share things like that. I noticed that most of the people, that if I share a 10-minute video, I'll get like a way bigger response than if I go over 10 minutes also. So that's why I was like, hey, we should make a compilation of all our shows and like just a 10-minute video like that. Anyway, that's what we gotta do.
Yeah.
But what about you, Paul? What do you think is like some of the ways we could get people to like come over to libertarian side?
Well, I think if we can, like what I was telling you last week with like just like an idea for like a tax plan, like I think that if we could like, let's do a flat tax, we can like take in the same revenue, we can cap spending, balance the budget. And, like we're sympathetic to some of these like social issues like gay marriage and, basically, you can do what you want as long as you don't like infringe on other people's rights, like drug decriminalization. Like I think, and like I think we can. I think there are some reasonable people on the left that we could bring over, and I think that if we could like there'd be Republicans who agree with us too, and if we can like try and broaden like our base a little bit, like I think we can like pull some people in, if we can I think these ideas are good, and that we can, even if people don't agree with us completely, like we can get some people on board.
Yeah.
I truly believe there are more Democrats oriented with like Richard Ojeda, Tulsi Gabbard, and some normal things who, as we're saying, we take economics out of the issue. They maybe want some minimum wage things. They have some ideas about Planned Parenthood and different things like that, which fine. Okay. But overall, they would agree with us. They're on the liberty track too, or they're closer to it. So are some people who are oriented with if you want to call it the Trumpsters, or they're people who are just tired of the Republican Party because they don't see a difference between that and the Democrats. Because what do? They collude with the big partners, which brings me to the second topic. You guys all know what it's about. Max did a good job of explaining it. Basically, they said they were shorting stocks. So what these investors were doing, and I looked up the firm. It's part of Citadel, and I think it was a hedge fund called Melvin Capital. And they came down and said, oh, okay, I'm going to bet against GameStop. Now, what I want to make the first point is people are saying, okay, well, what are they doing? They're changing, in layman's terms, they're changing numbers on computers, manipulating them that affects real people's jobs, lives, and livelihoods. And maybe some ways they feed their families. So it's not cool. Now, we tried different ways to, combat them in the past. People are like, okay, I'm going to protest. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to wave a sign. I'm going to do the Occupy movement. I'm going to do the Antifa movement. Or I'm going to do the, Capitol riot thing. And none of those, while I can understand where they're coming from, none of those really worked. Then a group of Redditors, led by a dude who I believe was, kind of geeky like myself, went in there and said, hey, they're trying to short GameStop. Let's buy a bunch of GameStop stocks. Elon Musk, did encourage that. And I think he said, I'm behind these guys. I don't know if he's the one who started the ball rolling or encouraged it to roll. So you can get, but Reddit has different threads. They're like forums, and you go to our Wall Street bets, and then boom, these people were able to, as far as I checked last time, buy up GameStop stock, and they didn't stop there. They went to AMC, American Classic Movies. I think they made hedge funds lose $90 billion. Now, Robinhood and some.
Where'd you get that number from? The 90 billion.
I was talking to my friend yesterday. I think I saw 90 or 70 billion. let's say this: it's a lot of money. How about that?
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: you only lose it if you pull out, right? Like if you pull out. So right now, which you're going to, Robinhood locked up everybody who was betting on that on GameStop, right? You got Nasdaq that switched some of the things that you're able to do is slow down some of the transaction rates, etc. So the market, like these exchanges are protecting these bigger hedge funds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a hedge fund, what you got to do is don't sell right now, because if you sell, you lost, right? If they hold on and then they convince these exchanges, the head of the exchanges, to like shut them down, and then what happens? GameStop's going to lose again because nobody's able to buy it, or sell it, or trade. So anyway, they're just going to short it again, and then it's going to go down. And when it goes down to the same rate they were at, they could either pull out and make their funds they were at, or continue to short. So, I mean, they're losing as we speak, but if you pull out, then you lost. That's a completed transaction. If your money's still in there, you're just hoping that this lawsuit goes good for you, because there's a class action lawsuit against against Robinhood, and I guarantee you there's going to be, there's some politicians talking like, hey, we got to start questioning these exchanges. So it's good to see that there's some pushback from everywhere, from left to right. The protectionism by an exchange for the hedge funds is corrupt. It's illegal, and it shouldn't be allowed. So that's it.
Point I wanted to make, the big point I wanted to make, and I'm going to start with a quote, is capitalism shouldn't be blamed because we haven't had real capitalism.
Yep.
Ron Paul. And the point I really want to make is, because I know some people on the left have seen, well, this is capital. This is not capitalism. Capitalism has no bailouts. You mess up, you messed up, and you go back to the bottom of the barrel and work your way back up. And hopefully you got some experience that you can hit the drawing board, and you're not going to be either as greedy or as bad, or you just learn from experience and you get better. And I've been there. I messed up on investments. Everybody here, I think, is messed up on investment.
Yeah, if you don't put the money in, if you're not willing, if you don't take the risk,
yeah,
you could never win. So you have, and you're going to lose too. So that's okay. That's part of the experience,
Yeah. I think the interesting thing, like Ayn Rand said, is you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. They're trying to ignore reality and say, like, okay, I can just make casino-style bets all the time, every time, and I can just get bailed out. No, you can't. Eventually,
I don't think these hedge funds are being bailed out. They're just being protected, and they're not being protected by the government. They're being protected by the exchanges itself.
They are.
Like Nasdaq is protecting them, and Robinhood is protecting them, which is illegal. There's laws against it. So that's the problem, right? Like if and they're like, oh, it's just irregular activities. We have to understand what. See, the problem is when a bunch of freaking decentralized people who aren't a reputable hedge fund get together and hedge against the hedge funds, like that's a problem. Because why? Because it's not like a powerful person or a powerful entity like these two hedge funds. So that's a problem for them, right? Because they don't pay the bills like the other one does. So it's just interesting to see how it's just interesting for me to see how like people just came together to do this.
Yeah.
Well, it's like sometimes there's beautiful things and where people just come together and unite under one common cause.
Yeah.
and that was the GameStop Gamestop stocks, bro. It was so fun. They were like, "Fuck these fucking hedge funds." Boom, bro.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
To me, that's the difference between collective action and collectivism. Collectivism is mandatory, organization,
Right.
a specific goal. Collective action is just like, hey, this is going on. Can you join me and help buying GameStop stocks? And my opinion is you can try and stop decentralization for a while and put brakes and put regulations and do this. Eventually it's going to win. It hadn't got rid of Bitcoin, it hadn't got rid of the internet. People are going to find a way, in my opinion. And yeah, they might do some lawsuits and they might keep trying to pull
I mean, dude, I hope Robinhood goes broke, bro.
I do too.
I hope they sue them. They fucking go broke for what they did, dude. They don't deserve a fucking license, bro. Fucking for what they did, dude. I mean, listen, if people are on there and they want to trade on Robinhood, that's one thing, but what they did was foul, bro. A lot of people are leaving Robinhood. They never went public. Robinhood, that is. So if they were on the freaking stock market right now, they'd be crashing, dude. They'd be crashing like crazy.
They'd be crashing like crazy. I don't know if Robinhood has any ties to congressmen, but I definitely know these hedge fund people have some friends in high places. And
sure.
Yeah, and George Carlin had a thing, if you ever watched Life is Worth Losing, one of his specials before he passed away, said, it's a big club and you ain't in it.
You ain't in it.
It's a big
Remember
club.
that.
And then people are like, what does he mean by that? I thought, because you're always told, oh, the voters own the country, whatever. And I'm like, no, there's a select few. I'm not even going to conspiracy theory. You can look this up. Select few people, corporations who run the media, who run banking.
It's not even, yeah, it's not gonna, dude. Rich people run shit. That's how it's always been.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because they fucking get up in the morning before you do. They go to work before you do. They make more money than you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's who runs the fucking, because they want it more than we do, right? And so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when they corrupt society to stay on top, and even if you work as hard as them, you're not able to get to the fucking top. And that's where corruption arises, That's when they become a monopoly and there's no competition anymore. And so
yeah,
I don't mind that these people get super fucking rich and they want to run shit. The problem is that when they start getting up there and they start fucking taking over the politicians and paying them. Look at Elizabeth Warren. She had a tweet. Oh, this whole GameStop thing is bad. She was actually protecting the hedge funds.
Wall Street.
She runs. All her constituency is fucking anti-capitalist, and here she is, protecting the hedge funds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, wow, bro, look at that, man. I hope, bro, she could have been a presidential candidate. She was right there at the end, right?
Yeah.
Holy crap, this is dangerous, bro. See what I'm saying? Who you think paid for her campaign? Think about it. Who paid for her? These are the fucking people that paid for her campaign,
Yeah.
Bro, I hope she trips and fucking lands on a fucking pole or some shit.
Well, if these hedge funds go under, maybe she'll be working one, but no one will pay her.
She needs to learn how to install solar. Like those hedge funds need to. They need to go learn how to code with the Keystone Pipeline and shit.
Something. What I find interesting is, out of everything we've said, I think decentralization does win in the end. But one additional point I want to make is this: like, you're talking about Elizabeth Warren, you're talking about a lot of these people. Yes, rich people run stuff. I'd say half of the reason is, yes, there's people who are industrious, people who get up and work in the morning. I'm sure Elon Musk, Bezos, stuff like that. Then
Elon Musk doesn't do anything but work. Like, that guy doesn't do anything. Bro, he doesn't own shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't even own anything, bro. He fucking doesn't spend money, bro. All he does is grab the money he makes and he puts it right back into his fucking business. Yeah. He's a constant machine. Yeah, the guy has, like, how many boys does he have? He has like 5 boys or some fucking shit. He's blessed, bro. This guy is super blessed. That's all he fucking does. So how you can't hate on a guy like that. The people that we gotta like, we don't like, are the ones that are fucking like,
Yeah.
oh, let me call up NASDAQ, the president. Let me call up the president of the CEO of Robinhood and get this. Like, what the fuck is that, bro? You
There's
little bit,
people
bro.
who
You
are
played the
rich.
game, you lost.
Yeah.
You're losing. You played the game. It's called
Yeah.
stocks. You're the expert, and you lost.
You know what? You lost to people who call them stonks and put
Stonks.
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 Oh,
Stonks.
and they got the
That's so funny, bro.
But yeah, I want to illustrate the point that yeah, there's some people who get up, work hard in the morning. There's some people who call Bernanke up and say, "Oh, I made some bad investments
Right.
on the housing market. You know, can you give them
Bail
some
me out."
in BS? Oh, I just need a bailout. We're too big to fail. What does that even mean? Smaller, in my opinion, makes you less likely to fail. But I'm seeing the same thing. Oh, too big to fail. No, no such thing.
Too big to fail. This was something Obama coined when he coined that shit. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He was like, these people provide too many jobs. If they fail, the whole market's gonna go under for a long time, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And that's the market adjusting.
Yeah.
Getting rid of all the bad investments it made. What happened?
That's part of capitalism, is that like you like a lot of these people, like they
it's a business cycle.
It's like, right, like they say that they you know, like they say that like they hate like these big corporations, but like when like the big banks and corporations fail, and they're like, oh, well, like what about the jobs? And it's like, well, like part of it,
Fuck
capitalism.
those jobs, bro.
Yeah, like
fuck
the bigger
those
you are,
jobs.
like, the
Go
bigger
learn how to code, bitch.
Yeah, like the bigger you are, the harder you fall, and like that's like
right.
That's like part of capitalism. Like if you had like a more I mean, it's a whole like monetary policy. That's a whole other thing. But like a lot of people like don't get how business cycles work, and like you know they don't get that.
The problem is they got fat. These companies got they invested. They made bad investments. They made bad ones.
Right.
They're gonna make good ones. They're gonna make bad ones. If you make enough bad ones, you're gonna fuck up and you're gonna go under. Just like if I own a pizzeria and I don't market myself well and I don't get enough, you know, I pay my employees too much or whatever.
Yeah.
I make a lot of mistakes. I fail. Where's my government bailout so I could continue running my shit? I don't get one because you know what? And it's good I don't get one because it's a shit pizzeria I'm running here. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with these big ass banks. You look at Wells Fargo. You look at bro. It's the worst fucking bank. Dude, go look at Wells Fargo. They scam people to be like to meet their quotas. That shit was crazy. I can't believe they exist at this point. You know what I'm saying? So they make anyway, the mortgage crisis. Boom. They made so many bad investments. You want a house? No problem. I'll prove you make $40,000 a year, $500,000 loan. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that. So the thing is that's bad for the market. It's bad. Doesn't work. These people can't pay their bills. So a fucking bank fails and the bank deserves to fail because it made bad investments. But if you're going to keep bailing it out, it's going to continue to make those investments and expect another bailout. And now that we're working for them. You know what I'm saying?
If what the Fed does is like they target the interest rate through like a dual mandate of trying to control inflation and like mandate unemployment. But like if the interest rate were set by market forces, like there would be like less malinvestment because it would set the right between like consumption and investment and saving.
I mean, that $40,000 person would never get the loan, and if they did, and their credit was shit, their interest rate would be going through the fucking roof. And if a bank was doing that with people and giving them low fucking interest rate anyway, the Federal Reserve or wherever they get their money from, the Treasury, wherever it is, the Federal Reserve would like you're saying, if it's controlled based on how good an investment is, not who's getting loans and who's not because they're my buddies.
Right.
The interest rate of the Fed will go up for these shit banks, but it doesn't. They keep it at zero, you know, because they want people to keep spending money. And the problem is, it's like, well, you're spending the money unwisely. You're not producing anything, and so you're losing money.
And also,
You know?
like it takes time to produce the things that people spend money on. So like a lot of like Keynesian economists, like they're fixated on spending, but like you have to save money to like be able to produce the things that people want to buy, and like people save money so that they can spend in the future, and you have to
Yeah.
to let the market like regulate that. Like it's not like the interest rates.
Well, that's never going to happen because, like, how they have the market now, like you said, they want us to spend, spend, spend. So how are you going to buy a house
Right,
if you don't save it? Like, if you want a nice $250,000 house, you should probably save up
right,
50 grand, right? Well, in a market like this where your fucking money's worth less, then the value of the house goes up, and then all of a sudden you're trying to save, you're trying to get to that 50,000, but the house value just goes up because the dollar's worthless. So now it's adjusting to the printing of how much they're printing, and all of a sudden now the house is 300,000, so I need an extra 20 grand, and it's like you never catch up. So it's worthless to even save in an economy like this. I mean, I'm fucking, but I'm not holding dollars. I am fucking dumb as shit. Like, dude, this is crazy, bro. If they just allowed it to fail, like what Kareem was, I think this is what you were getting to. If they allow them to fail, what will happen is they'll liquidate. Like us three who saved, right? $50,000 a piece, we're gonna go buy a business that failed a small portion. You see these low banks everywhere around here. There's this Kearney Bank. It's a town, right? So somebody started a bank in the town, okay, and now they got a couple places everywhere. They got a couple places everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The Kearney Bank will buy some of their portfolio, right? They're gonna
right,
buy those mortgages. Okay, well, we'll take these mortgages here. Oh, okay, well, we'll take these people who, and so that's how it's supposed to go. But Carney isn't making the same type of fucking investments as Chase and Wells Fargo and Bank of America and these. So if we allowed them to fit now, Carney, because they did the right thing, they didn't fucking become spendthrifts. They fucking saved and they fucking bought out all the fucking good loans and said fuck those other fucking loans away and buying them shits because they ain't nobody paying on those. And then those people, guess what? You didn't pay your house. You done fucked up. You lose your fucking house, and that's how it goes, right? And then the market adjusts. Then the market fucking adjusts, and we pay our dues. And everybody who fucking was bad, you suffer. Everybody who's good succeeds. Instead, it's reversed. Everybody who's doing the right thing is getting fucked, okay, and everybody who's doing the wrong thing is getting
yeah, it's
rewarded here.
benefiting them. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a rigged game. It punishes people from saving, like small businesses on Main Street from saving, but it benefits those politically connected Wall Street banks because they can keep borrowing money at like 0% interest rates. And if the interest rate went up, the government couldn't afford the debt payments because it's at 27 trillion. So like
Yeah.
it's just like sooner or later, like you're gonna have to reckon with that, and like the government doesn't want to do that.
I
And
I think we're at the beginning of hyperinflation. I thought it for a long time, but like now it looks. You look at the market. This next bailout's coming, right? I think this is where it starts, and it's like they're trying to avoid the bear market that's coming. They're trying desperately to avoid a bear market. They're trying to keep us in a bullish market. Spend, spend, spend. Like, dude, the bear market is part of the fucking market, dude. It's just gotta come. It's gotta fucking come. Let it come, dude. Like, just let it fucking. It's like when you farm, right? I'm not a farmer, but like I know that you're supposed to burn down the fucking farm. Well, not the barn or anything like that, but you burn down the land and all the ashes fucking you destroy it, and then all of a sudden the ashes go into the soil and it produces better soil, and then better plants fucking grow. That's
right,
what needs to happen. It's nature. Contraction is nature. It's a part of nature. You expand, you contract. You can't continuously expand by fucking taking the fucking value of the monetary supply to pay for it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, and what I want to say on top of this is small businesses had to close, not of even most of their own fault. I mean, and they didn't even get a bailout, so it's really
No, dude, hold on. What do you mean it's not their own fault?
not their fault. If someone forces you to close your business, you can't make income. I don't think that's your fault.
Oh, like in the lockdown. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So they had no congressman to call up and say, hey, give me this, give me that. Because Congress.
I mean, you know what? I was selling a car to this guy. The guy was a 800 fucking credit score a few days ago. And then he owns the business in New York, right in Chinatown. Nobody's going to Chinatown right now. Okay. So the government shut him down. I asked him, how much is the government giving you? About 20%. He was like, if that. I was like, damn. So they have you shut down and then they're only giving you a fifth of what you were making? Yeah. Okay. So the guy's got a lot of money. He's driving a Lexus LS. He's buying his fucking kids new cars, nice cars, not even like cheap cars, nice cars. And he's there buying this kid, but he can't lease anymore. He's a 600. He can't lease anymore. He's a 600 credit score because he can't fucking pay his bills, dude, because they shut his ass fucking down. This is crazy, dude. So now look, who's that affect? It affected me, my paycheck.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It affects the dealership I work at. It affects the manufacturer I work for. So now, dude, this is a vast consequence. This is a huge, it affects who produces the car, the manufacturer, the bank that would have been able to give him a loan, a good loan, because he was an 800, dude. You should see what he has on his fucking, bro, I saw his credit, bro. I know his bills. I know what he owns, He has money. He has a lot of fucking money. And he's waiting for these debt, this debt of these people who are supposed to pay him. He's about to get 50 grand all in one fucking shot from the people that owe him who don't have to pay him because of coronavirus. Because they made laws for that too. So I'm waiting on that shit because he's gonna just buy the fucking car cash. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is crazy, dude. And meanwhile, these hedge funds, they out here fucking calling up Robin Hood like, yo, become the sheriff tonight.
Yeah.
Like, yo, the Fed, yo, 0%. All right, no problem.
Hey, Yellen, how you doing? Can I get 0%? Oh, Robin Hood.
Oh my God, dude, Yellen, bro. Yellen has been approved, bro. Oh.
Yeah, Yellen's been approved, so whoop-dee-doo. Just bad news all around. There are a couple good things actually I did see that I like that I shared. I'm not going to talk about them today though, but I can talk about them off air. But speaking of our money, where's it going? There's something else I saw that I didn't see in the bill before that I want to bring up because of Spike Cohen. He brought this up. If I said the word Rohingya Rohingya, so would that ring a bell? Anyone?
What are you talking about?
All right. So, Mr. Cohen today, because this is something I knew about, but I kind of, because of Yemen, I actually didn't look at this much. I should have been. So let's look at this tweet, and then I'll actually show you the BBC article. Buried in December's omnibus bill, since people don't have money, they're trying to help hedge funds, they're trying to bail out, and also in that bill that passed, $135 million for Burma. What is Burma doing? There's a group of, and I think this would throw a lot of people off. There's a group of Buddhists. I know they say Buddhism's the most peaceful religion. I would disagree. It's Jainism. Not going to get into religion, but what I am going to say is this. They have programs to promote ethnic and religious tolerance to combat gender-based violence, and the money will go directly to Burmese government, the military, who's actively committing a genocide against the Rohingya. Basically, long story short, the Burmese military and people who are Buddhists there are doing ethnic cleansing of Muslims there, and we can go through the Myanmar Rohingya. What do you need to know about the crisis? Just to give you a real quick thing about that, just to see how great they've been spending our money. The UN's top court ordered a Buddhist majority country to take measures to protect the members of its Rohingya community from genocide. But in the army in Myanmar, formerly Burma, he said it was fighting the Rohingya militants and denies targeting civilians. I don't believe that. Country's leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, once a human rights icon, has repeatedly denied allegations of genocide. Who are the Rohingya? Just if you want to know. And yes, I'm not, and let me make this clear. I'm not a UN guy. I'm not a globalist. But if the UN puts out something that's good with facts, I'll use it to my advantage, just like Elon Musk uses subsidies. So one, if not the most discriminated people in the world, is the Rohingya, or one of Myanmar's many ethnic minorities. Rohingya, who are numbered around 1 million in Myanmar, at the start of 2017 are many of one ethnic minorities in the country. Rohingya Muslims represent the largest percent of Muslims in Myanmar, with the majority living in Rakhine State. They have their own language, culture, descendants, and they're descendants of Arab traders and other groups who have been in the region. But the government of Myanmar.
So wait, let's look right there. Why did they flee? So the exodus began on the 25th of August, 2017, after Rohingya ARSA militants launched deadly attacks on more than 30 police posts. Okay, keep going down. So there's like a civil war going on right there.
Kind of, yeah. I did want to, if I can read this part. The government of Myanmar, predominantly Buddhist, denies citizenship. They excluded them from the census.
Yeah, we know that part, bro. Like, get to the action, bro. Come on. Get to the action. Okay, Rohingya arriving in Bangladesh said they fled after troops backed by local Buddhist mobs responded by burning the villages and attacking and killing civilians. So they just fucking went out there and started killing people.
Yeah.
At least 6,700 Rohingya, included at least 730 children under the age of 5, were killed in the month after violence broke out, according to the medical charity MSF. Amnesty International says Myanmar, so Burma military, also raped and abused Rohingya women and girls. Shocker, they raped them. Okay. The government, which puts the number of dead at 400, claims that the clearance operations against the militants ended on the 5th of December. But BBC says that they continued after that date. At least 288 villages, bro. Wow. Were partially or totally destroyed by fire. That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
The imagery shows that the areas of Rohingya villages were reduced to smoldering rubble. So they fucking went in, start killing everybody, burning their shit down, raping their fucking women, killing their kids.
Yeah.
And this is what's going on. Now, this is right there. Like this. Okay, so there's the map, right? You got India right there. Am I right? Is that India?
Or, yeah, Bangladesh.
To the left. To the left is India.
I think.
To the west.
I don't want to actually not.
You see where it says Bangladesh?
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah, I believe.
To the left of that is that India? What is that? The other Bangladesh, bro. Put your mouse on the other Bangladeshes. What countries is it?
Myanmar.
Yeah, okay. I know. I could read, bro. I'm asking you the other countries that are not said. Where is this place, bro? This is in South Asia, right?
It's in South Asia.
Is this by India or not?
It is.
It looks like it's like right on the right of India.
We can look it up if you'd like.
Yeah, do that. I want to know what. Yeah, it is by India. See? Right on the bottom over there on the globe.
Yeah, it is. It's by India and Pakistan. I know it's close. Burma, India, Pakistan, and Myanmar.
Yeah, so they're fucking murdering all these people, right? And what's the international response? Nothing, bro. A couple phone calls. That's what. Yeah. And the bill that Spike Cohen gave. So we gave the money to who?
So 135 million for Burma.
Yeah.
The programs to promote. Notice though, to promote ethnic and religious tolerance, to combat gender-based violence, which
that means a whole lot of nothing. Who they gave that to? They gave that to
the
military-run Burmese government. So they gave it to the same people that we're burning this shit down, bro?
That is my understanding. Yes. If Spike comes,
Holy fuck!
now the hard part is I did know about this. I did follow it. I started following Yemen more closely, obviously, because that's an issue itself going there.
This is sick, dude.
But Spike actually, I'm like, Spike, holy crap, I forgot about this. Spike does good work. Spike brings like a lot of things to.
He reads. He reads the fucking bills.
Yeah, he actually reads and like he's like, this is what's in here, and this is. I wouldn't have known that there's a law against live streaming, and if it wasn't for Spike. Like Spike goes in and he reads, and he said where the money's directly going. I trust his judgment because there's no way I could have even read that bill and keep up with everything going on in government, the executive orders, things going on with the election. There's just too much. Like even if I was going at it full time, which I don't have time to do, it's good that he's pulling this up, and it's good that he's bringing this up. So I just kind of wanted to bring
this is like sad, dude. This is like,
yeah,
bro. What the fuck is going on, bro? Why are we giving these people our money? Like, I get it. This shit's gonna fucking happen. This has always happened. I've read enough history to understand this shit always fucking happens. I get it.
Why we
but like, why are we funding these people, man? Holy crap! What did they promise us? Like, what, a military outpost, some mineral rights and shit? Like, this is just sick.
There's
maybe, and you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna be like, well, if we didn't do it, China was gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's like
always
China would have fucking gave them the money probably too. Yeah, they probably would have. But this is sick, dude.
I mean, Trump made some goofy argument like, oh, if I don't sell the Saudis weapons, Russia and China will. I'm like, bruh, an Abrams, I'm not a military expert, but you can't just swap out Tomahawk missiles into a Chinese or a Russian aircraft.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't want to lose, like, it's about who funds the fucking campaigns, right? We know that.
You don't want
so that's what it really is about.
No.
And secondly, it's also about you don't want China there to have influence over the oil, right? We have the influence over the oil as a country, so that's the second thing,
So yeah, in my opinion, there's some back, and like you're saying, there's some back deal made to say, hey, if we get this money. Oh, maybe they even said we'll stop doing it, we'll reform, we'll be good people, and then we'll give you this, we'll do this in exchange for this, and we'll be good and stuff like that.
I mean, 135 million in Burma or whatever this country is called now, that's a lot. That goes a long way, bro. That 135 goes a long way out there, bro. They're poor as shit out there.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. Oh, whew. Yeah, that goes a long way. So yeah, that's another.
Bro, people on fucking welfare don't even know how poor those motherfuckers are, bro. They poor out there, bro. They're fucking like no running water poor, bro. Like like shitting in a fucking bucket, and fucking house is leaking and fucking no run. Like, dude, think about that. Dude. They're fucking real poor, bro. And what are they doing? Oh, let's just kill each other and shit. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Dude. And you know what? This Buddhist group made news a couple years ago. How this didn't just happen since yesterday. This has been happening, actually, right?
Yes, this has been happening. Yeah. Okay, you did follow it. Okay, yeah. It just, Spike kind of renewed that. It was in the back of my mind. He renewed it because I'm wondering, like, where, with all the things going on here domestically, the issues, business closing down, all these problems. The hedge funds, and this and Reddit's and companies going down. We're giving money to fund ethnic cleansing, and not just in here. I could argue we are doing it in other parts of the world. Although there is some good news. I did see a good article today on Adam versus Man, so I'll switch to something good. All right. Scotland. Now you're thinking they want to be independent from the United Kingdom. Most Scots want independence, but they lack the means to get it. So this is The Economist. What is going on? What is going on?
I know where this is going already. Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
So I wanted to, I went over a lot of stories, good and bad. There's some good and bad here. I think the good outweighs the bad, to be honest. So Scotland wants to be independent from the UK, which I 110% support. I think you guys would too. As Boris Johnson flew northward on January 28th to try and persuade the Scots the value of the Union. Sounds like somebody else I know. Oh, because I just can't leave. And then Abbott actually stands up. Fine, good. The land beneath him seemed to ready to break apart. Many Unionists think the United Kingdom is bound to disintegrate. Yeah. Brexit has loosened the bonds between the four nations. More than twice as many Britons think Scotland will get independence in 10 years and think the country will hold together. And there's a chart down there. The Scottish National Party, SNP, is expected to win a majority in the elections to the Scottish Parliament in May, which will use to then seek a second referendum on separation. I wish I would use the word secede, but they don't. The first ballot held in 2014, Scots voted to remain in the UK, but a majority now consistently say they want independence. Nicola Sturgeon, if I'm saying that right, the SNP leader, has strong approval ratings. Mr. Johnson does not. Brexit is causing
well, the whole thing is like, so people don't know, right? Like Scotland is its own fucking country.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows Braveheart, right? So we all know Braveheart, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, but what they don't understand is the reason. So now Scotland wants to end the union with the UK.
Yes, they want to secede.
Okay, and by all reasons, I think that's a good thing. Here's where it's a bad thing. They only want to leave because they want to jump back into the EU. So they were extremely against Brexit. They were extreme. They wanted to be a part. Scotland wanted to be a part of the EU, but most of England did not. Okay, Wales did not. Right. So that's what it was. So the UK got the Brexit deal done. Everything is done economically. Everything's done politically. It's over. They're done. So Scotland wants to fucking get back to the fucking EU. I think they're better off with the UK. By far. By far, today, they're better off with the UK than joining the EU. I don't trust the EU. I don't like the EU. I sure understand if Scottish people were like, but the fucking English rule us. I get that. I get it. Okay. But the thing is, the EU is no kinder. No. So they're just trying to jump ship. And the reason they're all fucking popular is because the people funding them are from the fucking EU. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with that. There's no really good solution for the Scottish people. How about we're just on our own? You know why it is? It's because there's all these fucking trade deals. So you can't be on your own. You got to pick, and if you're going to fuck it, like, dude, imagine Scotland says, okay, we're going to finally be free and we're going to join the EU and it all goes according to plan. And guess what the UK does? Sanctions. Boom. Then what?
Yeah.
Who's going to come save them? You think the Germany is going to come save them? And they're going to be like, see you later, Scotland. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, like Scotland, Northern Ireland don't want to be part of the UK in and of itself. I agree with that. I think that's a good thing.
But Scotland isn't the same thing as Northern Ireland, so we understand.
Yeah.
Right. Like Scotland is its own country. Northern Ireland is not a part of Ireland.
No.
So that like Northern Ireland is truly being occupied.
Okay.
Scotland's not being occupied.
Let's make that distinction. Yeah. Let's make that distinction. But what I wanted to say, and that's a good distinction. Sorry, I didn't make that. I should have. But what I wanted to say is this: if they wanted to leave on their own and say we're completely independent, kind of like Spain and Catalonia, I'd say 100%, go for it. Let's get it done. Yeah, I don't like the idea of jumping back into the EU. It may be possible though that the EU eventually disintegrates. Even I don't know. I'm not an expert on the EU. I think it's like everything else going to, since it's so centralized, collapse. And then hopefully the Scottish people will be able to have Scotland on their own. Now,
I mean, with the EU, there's a lot of hope with some of the countries who want to leave. Like, there's a lot of Italians that want to leave.
Yeah.
You know, there was talks about Italy leaving the EU, and now that this Brexit deal happened, in terms of the economic structure, they got everything there done. You know, economists are saying that the UK is going to lose 4% in the future of total GDP because of it. It's like, okay, well, thanks for your crystal ball and understand. Like, you believe this, Paul? They're predicting over the next 10 years what's gonna happen with the fucking UK GDP, dude. Like, how the fuck would you fucking know, dude? You know, like, they have no idea what's going on. But besides that, you know, if Italy leaves, if Italy starts making some noise, you may have other countries that may want to leave, you know. So you know, Switzerland's never been a part of it. England should have never been in it, dude. I don't know why the English went in. They got the pound, bro. They got the fucking pound.
Yeah, I don't
like, you know how good the pound is. The pound is it's good, bro. It's backed. Isn't it backed by silver? It's backed by silver. It's back. It has a fucking. It's backed by something, dude. Like, I want that. I want that really bad for a currency, you know. So I don't know why they joined, but the Italians were actually backed by gold too before they joined the euro.
I think Switzerland. I don't know if they. I think they do have their own currency. I don't think they're not part of the EU. Then they wouldn't use the euro. But they're a very free market. They're like one of the top most capitalist countries like in the world. Their like their corporate tax is only like 8.5%. Their top income tax is 11%. Like their banking system, I think, is like, I'm not an expert on it, but from what I understand, it's like very like it's pretty privatized. Like, it's very free market. Like, you know, a lot
Dude,
of
there's a story in Italy. Let me tell you what happened with Switzerland. So Switzerland, all the mafia uses Switzerland, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. All the drug
Corporation, they put their like because they don't have to like pay like the taxes. Like, they only pay 8.5%.
Right.
So why wouldn't you put your money there? Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember the fucking name of the president of Italy. He's not the president. He's the prime minister. Whatever. Not Berlusconi. This is after him, I believe. So this guy gets in office. In the first month or something like that, he gets all the gold of Italy in trucks, and he drives it straight into fucking Switzerland. And he steals, and he just disappears. And they fucking get him. And he was like, they arrest him, they bring him through court and everything. And remember, this gold is stuck in Switzerland. Switzerland ain't giving them the gold back. Okay, it's not like, oh, okay, no problem, here it is. No, Switzerland ain't giving the gold back and shit. So they go through court, and he was like, he made a deal with them that he'll give everything back in 1 year. So he gave them all the money back in 1 fucking year, all the gold. He returned it. It just had a different stamp on it, but he made the interest in the 1 year. He made the interest on all the fucking gold in Italy, dude. You believe this shit? What a fucking gangster, bro. That shit is fucking gangster. And he's free right now.
What was the
name? I
name
gotta know this guy's name.
Oh, you don't know?
I fucking gotta look it up, dude. This is like, bro, this is the funniest fucking story. My father was telling me about it because I was young when this happened, you know? Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But that shows you how fucking Switzerland operates. Like, you would think, like, it's their fucking neighbor, dude. They literally share the mountain range right there, right
next to it. Yeah.
And they were like, we ain't giving you the fucking gold.
Yeah.
And you can't invade Switzerland, bro. It's a fucking suicide mission. The whole thing's on the mountain. Everybody's armed. Everyone's armed. As much they're more armed than us.
In Switzerland, they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're more armed than us. Listen, every household is I think they have one rifle for every other person, every other adult.
Yeah.
It's 50% of adults have it.
yeah.
And every household, I don't know if it's standard by the government, gives them a rifle. Yeah, they're very pro-gun out in Switzerland. Yeah. In fact, my friend over there, he was telling me that they just passed a law where for 10 bullets. They just got that done. So it's like kind of shifting, you know. They're like, because there was a murder or something, somebody shot up something, you know, and they were like, okay, let's limit the clips and the magazine capacity. The magazine capacity. Let's limit that. And so that happened. But besides that, they've been pro-gun for so long, dude. Yeah, it's probably the most pro-gun country in Western Europe.
Yeah, and what was JoJo's big thing on foreign policy? And I quote this. I really like this. I want to turn America into one giant Switzerland.
Yeah. This is, you mentioned this every episode.
Because that would be awesome. You don't know how awesome that would be. To be free,
I mean, yeah, dude, like,
know, like,
right,
hey,
bro. That's exactly how we should be.
The best feeling in the world is to know that you are free, but also you're capable of, if something does hit the fan, to be able to respond accordingly. Because it doesn't help to be free and be like, okay, there's trouble, I'm gonna go and, you know, hide. There's nothing I can do. So yeah, I think that message I want to drive home, because that would be awesome. And I think it's reasonable to drive a policy like that home until enough people are like, yeah, let's be like one giant Switzerland. I got one more for you though. Let's end on a bad note. Why not? Gas taxes may soon increase. I don't think anybody's so shocked. Here's why that's especially bad for the poor and middle class. I really like these guys, Foundation for Economic Education. I think you'd like this, Paul, as well, especially.
Yeah, site fee.
What's it called? Fee. So just to go into this, if you know Pete Buttigieg, who was a candidate, now he's the Department for Transportation and things like that. Here's what people really don't know. I'm going to start. Americans who drive over 16,000 miles per year, cost per gallon, can quickly make a dent in their take-home pay, which I don't think any one of us debate. To drive all those miles, most individuals consume 720 gallons of gasoline a year, but we shut down the pipeline, which I've been watching the Biden administration. There's more stuff than I dislike. There are a couple things I liked. There are a few things I liked, but this is not one of them. What they may not know is they're paying approximately $132.84 in federal gas taxes. According to Pete Buttigieg, that number may soon be increasing. Lovely. And the topic was brought up by a Republican, no difference from a Democrat as far as I'm concerned, Rick Scott, who asked.
I like Rick Scott, bro. He's a hardcore Republican, bro.
He is.
From Florida. He's a senator from Florida, I believe.
Yeah. If Buttigieg might support such an increase, Buttigieg wanted, well, I think all the options need to be on the table. As you know, gas tax has not been increased since 1993. It's never been pegged.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Leave it where the fuck it is. Let's get rid of it instead. Like, what the fuck? Why does it have to go up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why up? You know what I mean? Like, get rid of it if it's fucking hasn't gone up. You know, that means we don't need it, right? Like,
I'm actually going to skip infrastructure part, but I agree with
you. Aggressive, the gas tax. That's something that, you know, like everyone needs gas. Like if you're poor, like you need gas. Like if you're poor and you drive, like the gas tax would definitely, you know, that would affect you more since like you have less money to spend and then you gotta like pay extra to get around. Like a lot of people, You know, it's like, why don't we stop taxing people into poverty? Why don't we stop inflating people into poverty? You know?
Yeah. That's it, bro. That's it, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. Get rid of it. You want to help the poor? Get rid of the gas tax.
I agree.
The whole reason they're doing this is because what they want to do is they want to force us in the market. They want to force the energy market into green energy. I'm pro green energy. I drive a hybrid.
Right.
I like green energy.
Right.
I like it. I like the idea of solar panels on my house. I even like the idea of fucking riding a bike in my house for an hour a day just to fucking get some electric. I like that whole fucking bullshit, bro. Okay, from left to right, up and down. I like the whole thing. I don't like how they gotta just force it into us. Like, dude, stop. I don't believe the Earth is fucking ending in 10 years unless you want to fucking make it end in 10 years. That's what they're trying to really fucking get to.
They're using they're using climate change as a political ploy to have socialism.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's not about saving the earth. It's not about saving the earth. Because what did Trump do? Trump got cleaner fucking air. Trump actually became more green under Trump than we did with Obama.
I think the UN, didn't they? They said we don't really need the Paris Accord, because
we're already on pace. The only reason they need us to be in the Paris Accord. We don't need to be in the Paris because we could become green.
It's like as long as China is burning 3 times as much carbon as us, and we're undermining our energy, that's really bad for us, but that's good for China.
And another problem with the fucking Paris Accord is that China is we got to come down, which I'm for. Okay, fine. But we got to pay everybody to come down also, so to fund their energy sectors. I don't like that. I mean, where are we getting this money from? Somebody show me. And lastly, I don't like that right now they produce 11, how many is it? 11 tons? 11, how many tons is it? How do they measure it again? They're able to double. China's able to double their fucking pollution rate.
Yeah.
Until 2030. And then they got to come down. Okay, but then they're going to get hit with the carbon tax. So they want them to double their fucking, all the way up to, double their fucking carbon pollution. And that way they could get them on the carbon tax up here. You follow? Right. So that's what they're doing to China. Now, if you look at the world, basically we're restricting the whole world from using coal. Like poor fucking countries that need to be using fucking coal because it's dirt fucking cheap. Okay, that they need to build their fucking energy sector. They're fucking got nothing, bro. Right. We're making laws against that, international law, so they never fucking get ahead. And then they're like, okay, you know what we'll do? Western Europe and the United States will pay for those countries to have an energy sector. So we'll subsidize the fucking bad law to begin with. And then we'll let China keep fucking getting huge. We'll keep letting them fucking become monstrous at everyone else's expense, and then we'll hit them at the back end with the carbon tax. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's why Trump got out of the fucking deal. He was like, okay, we're not paying nobody. That's what he said. We ain't paying nobody. And if you ain't gonna fucking do something about China, why do we gotta go green? And you know what? We went green anyway. We just didn't pay anybody else to go green with us. So fuck them. We could go green on our own, dude. We don't need to, like they said, right?
It's really like what you were saying about not letting under less developed countries build up their economy using coal. It's these are the same people who were they complain about child labor and poverty and poor country. And it's
exactly, dude. Exactly. They're still fucking relying. These people are still relying on a fucking furnace with coals in them. You know what I'm saying? With they're still relying on fire. They don't got fucking heat in their homes. You know what I'm saying? They don't got air conditioning. They don't got none of this. They don't got They don't have electricity, bro.
Right.
You know why? Because they fucking wrote a law that they can't be using coal. What? And they have all the coal. And guess who goes and buys all the coal? Guess who goes and buys all the coal? Fucking China goes and buys all the fucking coal from these fucking countries and shit. They own half of the mineral rights of Africa, for crying out loud.
So holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
But what I like FIAs all their articles have a solution. I see a lot of articles that are just like, okay, it's bad.
So what's the solution to this
So-
shit? End the tax. Boom. Done.
There's two. There's two of them. Fortunately, there are other options available to get our infrastructure besides needing a gas tax hike. Bouges knows as much in his testimony. In the long term, we need to bear in mind as soon as vehicles will become more efficient as we pursue electrification, which I I find that a funny word. Sooner or later, there will be questions about whether the gas tax can be effective at all. I believe Elon Musk can probably get electric cars and shit down to reasonable stuff, even though that does have effect on the environment. One such option would be federal government to cut spending elsewhere. And boy, there are plenty of places to do that. At the end of 2020, Senator Rand Paul released his annual Festivus report, where he found over $54 billion in government waste. And one needs to look no further than last year's stimulus package, chock full of cronies, special favors, and this stuff in Burma. And for examples, how the federal government blows our resources. Another option would be to simply stop crowding out private enterprise capacity, improve our transportation infrastructure. Companies like Uber, Tesla, and the Boring Company are light years ahead of the federal government. As fee contributor Matt Boyer points out, these companies are made up of researchers, engineers, and tech titans, not bureaucrats. These folks are at the heart of the problem, and it's their job to find a solution. They're the experts on the field. If you wouldn't trust a politician to be your doctor, why would you trust them to be your engineer? There's no question.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, dude. And this goes back to the government trying to tax us into doing what they want.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
they're
this.
trying to centrally control everything. Look at the Boring Company. What that's owned by Elon Musk. They dig fucking tunnels. Okay, they're gonna dig a tunnel from what is it, San Francisco to LA, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay, and you're gonna get there in like so many minutes quick.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take you 2-3 hours or whatever it is. Okay, they're gonna build these tunnels. Like they'll have one, let's say, from New York City to Brooklyn. Boom, and it's just one straight shot. You go with your car. It takes you on an elevator. You come down, puts you on. You're on a skate, and it just shoots your ass 120 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the only issue the Boring Company has is airways to provide enough oxygen for these small little tunnels. Because if you build them too big, it's not cost effective. Okay, so he's figuring all that out. You got Uber. We know what Uber is. They're doing it without having to tax anyone. Without having, they're doing it. They're profiting by doing it. They're not even, you know what I'm saying? People are giving them their money to do it willingly. The government needs to tax us to fucking stop driving. Like,
yeah, it's
oh, the government tax, the gas tax went up. Better not get that 6-cylinder. Better go down to the 4. You know, like what the fuck?
It's just ridiculous.
Oh my god.
So the point I want to end on today's show is, and I'm gonna just go with what Matt Boyer points out is there's no question that the free market could deliver better, faster products and usually at a cheaper price than the federal government. And that just goes to show decentralization works. The free market works with Reddit, beating out hedge funds, whatever the outcome there. The free market works with, people like Tulsi and stuff going out there and then going on networks, even such as Fox, even though I don't like them, getting the word out and saying, hey, that these groups of people aren't going to go away. They're probably actually in the future going to be the prominent voice like they are now. It's just you guys are on top for now. It shows the fact that the free market can solve a lot of these problems if you just get the government out of the way. We can solve problems like the gas tax. We can solve the hedge fund problems. I believe we can even solve things like Burma, or at least not get involved in there. And
yeah, bro. If we don't get involved, they have no money to continue. It's expensive to become a militant against your own people, dude. Like they need the funding, So you're right, man. If you just decentralize the market, you stop letting government spend the money, tax the money, subsidize protectionism, all these different things, and we just keep it as free as possible. the best outcomes will happen because the good people will rise to the top and the bad people will falter, you know, like it won't be rigged. So that's what we need, man.
And I would love to see an independent Scotland, not one that goes independent, goes into the EU, but it'd be nice to see them.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They're going to the EU, bro. If they get off, they're going to the EU.
But I think it would be great because I know people from Scotland and stuff about it'd be great because Scotland and Switzerland actually were two countries that did successful banking, decentralized or pre-market banking, however you want to call it. It'd be great if Scotland became independent of the UK and the EU. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't actually think. But if they get away from the EU, if they get away from the UK, the EU doesn't work out. Maybe there will be. I don't know. It's a long shot. But with that, so those were our topics today. We talked about Tulsi Gabbard confronting Brendan's comments, which we previously talked about. We discussed stonks with GameStop and why stonks, why the free market is better. We discussed another item about Burma, where your money's going, since all this money is being shuffled around. What happened in that bill, why it's going to Burma, what that's doing. We talked about Scotland, where that might go, and also about gas taxes. I want to thank my hosts, Max Henry and Paul DeSanctis, for an awesome show. This is Kareem with Liberty and Consciousness, promoting liberty through consciousness expansion.
Later, bro.